Good morning. I look like a ghost because I just got out of the shower. So I'm going to do my skincare routine and chit chat with you a little bit about a big shift that I most recently had as I am allowing in more continued consistent success in my business. So first, I'm going to tell you about the upper limit that I've been hitting consistently in my business. So what was happening for me was that I would, do the work, get the shifts, and then all of a sudden I would have a huge influx of clients come in, right? And so as this huge influx of clients come in, my schedule is full. I have 30 readings that I have to do. I have 10 readings that I have to do. I have a week's worth of readings that I have to do, plus content that I'm making on my channel and all of this stuff, right? So when I would get a whole bunch of clients coming in, I would get overwhelmed. I would get into a little bit of a freeze response because there was that, part of me who was wondering if I was good enough and all of that stuff. So I had to work through that trigger, which is fine. That's not really our focus. But another aspect of me allowing in, more success and allowing in these clients after I worked through that freeze aspect of wondering if I'm good enough, wondering if I'm going to be able to do it well, I also realized that there is this feeling of anxiety that I get when I have work to do, when I know that there are clients who are waiting to receive their readings from me. It feels like pressure. It feels like this is something that you have to do and you have to do it now. And so because I felt the pressure of this is something you have to do it now, and it's absolutely due on this date, sometimes I will fall into a bout of, I don't have the energy to do this right now, and I just need more time, and I'm tired. And so something would just happen with me energetically where all of a sudden it was like my energy would be gone because my energy would be split between all of the different things that I have to do. When am I going to do it? Can I do it now? No, I need to rest. No, I need to eat in the morning, and all of this other stuff, right? So I've got a whole bunch of orders that need to go out, that need to be completed. And one of the things that I'm just recognizing is that in terms of having consistency in your business, you have to become okay. You have to be willing to be okay with people waiting on you. You have to be willing to be okay with, I am booked up for the entire month of May. I'm not open for readings. Come back at the end of May if you want to connect with me. I am booked for this entire week, and allowing yourself to slowly but surely get through things, because my focus previously was being attuned to my clients and sacrificing myself. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was getting their readings, everybody was getting their everything. So I wasn't attuning to myself, prioritizing my own needs. So I ended up experiencing a lot of burnout and then a lot of resistance. And then you start thinking, oh my God, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I can't do this. Why am I so tired and stuff like that? And so then I previously would have gotten into, I put too much on my face. I previously would have gotten into the freeze response and then just not talk to my clients at all because I'm so embarrassed, right? I'm offering to do this service for you, and now I'm not doing it. I said that I was going to have it to you in 2 weeks, and it's already been past 2 weeks, and now I'm just stressed. Now I'm stressed because I feel like you're stressed. You want your reading immediately, right? And it was just a really toxic situation. So, remedy. The way that I remedied this was by having conversations. So one of the biggest shifts that I've had over the couple of months is starting to recognize that we want to say everything is a negotiation, that things are not just black and white. So if I say, okay, I'm going to have this to you by this time, something comes up I'm having a bad mental health day, I wake up, I'm super exhausted because I'm showing up, providing the service for you guys while I'm also doing my own deep healing at the same time. And so anybody who is doing this healing work knows when your energy is shifting, when you're experiencing rapid growth, your energy feels down. You need a whole bunch of rest and water and time to yourself to just allow the energy to shift, allow the new energy to come in. It's like you need a lot of freaking time. So recognizing that, in the past, I wasn't communicating with my clients. In the past, it was just like, oh, well, I didn't get it to them in 2 weeks. I'm going to get it to them whenever. Just pray to God that they don't email me. Pray to God that they don't reach out to me. Like, okay, like, I'm going to do it. I'm just feeling so overwhelmed right now. And then you just start feeling really, really unsafe and all of that. What I'm doing now is showing up and just letting them know, hey, I have a huge influx of clients right now, so you're going to get your reading within the next 2 weeks. And the second that I told them, you're going to get your reading within the next 2 weeks, it was an energetic shift and release where all of a sudden things were more relaxed, things were more calm. I thought that it was going to be Monday when I started getting ready for work and like, working on the readings that I have to do. But actually, it's like, today, I woke up this morning feeling really, really good, really energized, really ready to get to work. So I'm probably going to start working through some readings today. The point is that I noticed for myself that I do not work well on a super tight schedule. Not like I don't work well on a super tight schedule. I don't work well when I feel like there is high demand and no time for me to relax and naturally get into a flow. Because the way that I am is that I am going to naturally desire to get to every single thing on my list. Some days I'm going to wake up, it's going to be an astrology day. Let's get into it. I can talk about astrology all day today. I want to talk to my guides about the theories, and I want to do some natal chart readings. It's going to be amazing. Everything is going to come out so smooth, so effortlessly. It's just going to be perfect, right? There are some days where it's like that. There are other days where it's like tarot. I understand exactly what the fuck the Knight of Cups means. You know what I mean? Like, just right off the bat, I'm ready to go. It's super duper easy to crank readings out. But when I am waking up and forcing myself to get work done, that's when the readings aren't the best quality. That's when I don't particularly like the way that I'm showing up in the readings that I'm doing and all of this stuff. So now that I can show up and I can have conversations with my clients where it's recognizing that I have a love relationship, not a romantic relationship, but a feeling of mutual love and respect between my clients and me. Loving is taking them as a part of myself. So it's starting to recognize that in terms of all of my business deals, all of my relationships, if it's not going to work for you, then it's not going to work for me, and vice versa. If it's not going to work for me, then that means it's also not going to work for you. Me sacrificing myself is not going to work for you. It's not going to work in terms of the quality, whatever. We're talking about the theory. So what this means now is that, no, the reason I want to talk about the root of it. So taking it back to high school. In high school, I was the wannabe honors AP kid, whatever, right? And the rigorous, which is just fucking downright abusive and ridiculous course load that they're giving these children was super duper incredibly toxic, right? Because I'll give one teacher as an example. It was this energy of like, you have to show up. You have to do well in the class. You have to do all of the work. I don't want excuses. If you don't get the work done, then don't tell me anything. Just tell me that you don't have it. I don't want excuses. I don't care what's going on in your personal life. Your priority is to get this work done, which is so fucking ridiculous. And I'm not going to go off on a tangent about it. But what I will say is that that really deeply affected me because, as we all know, when I was a teenager, I was moving through feelings of suicide and depression, and there was just so much pressure. We put way too much pressure on teenage kids to have their entire fucking life figured out by the time they turn 18 years old. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so I remember I ended up being so stressed that I had to get surgery because I had this, thing that happened in my life. Basically, my stress manifested as physical fucking disease. I don't want to say disease, dis-ease, yeah. And I had to get surgery because I was so stressed about that class and all of the things that I had to do for it. Plus, I was wondering whether or not I was good enough at the same time. And it was just so much pressure. So basically, because of those systems, because of schooling being set up in that way, where it's like you don't get to make mistakes, you don't get to have conversations, you don't get to tell us when, something isn't working for you. Basically, we don't give a fuck about your mental, emotional, physical, psychological health. All we care about is you getting this work to us and it being high quality and blah, 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 blah. So that was a dynamic that I subconsciously carried into my adult life and my career. And this is something that is really important that I don't think a lot of us really talk about, or a lot of us think. The way that they talked about adulthood, the way that they talked about college, and, your professors in college aren't going to accept this, this, and this. Basically, we were told the idea and the concept that the world is hard and you have to, nobody's going to be looking out for you. Nobody's going to throw you a bone. Nobody's going to blah, blah. And all they were doing was projecting their own shitty fucking experience. So the recognition that we're overall having right now is that most people in the world are doing their best. Most people in the world are caring and kind. Most people in the world are caring and kind. If you are behind on your credit card bill, you can call. And there are so many different ways that you can actually receive help. I had no clue. I thought that the way of the world was, if you're struggling on your own. You don't get to ask for help. You don't get to have conversations because nobody cares. They don't care about you. They just care about being paid, blah, blah, blah. And it's not true. So starting to recognize this as you allow in more consistent income, it's, can you have orders due? Can you have clients due within a specific day, knowing and understanding that if you need a break, if you need rest, that you should also be prioritized in the deals that you're making with people, in the sales that you're making with people, so that when you are feeling incredibly exhausted, when you need that time to yourself, when it's just not a freaking work day, you're not sitting around stressing, knowing that there are people waiting on you. And it's just an extra layer of pressure that once you remove it, it allows that consistent income to be a lot more easy, because it's about recognizing that the more successful you are, the more orders that you have coming in, you have to be able to get used to people waiting on you. You have to be able to get used to knowing that there are people who want content, coming in from you, knowing that there are people who have booked personal readings from you, being able to see that, recognize them, also balancing out your needs. It's about that work-life balance, and also your work, your life, your relationships with others, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your partner. So we're just stepping into this new segment of life where we are just overall starting to find a little bit more balance, learning how to communicate clearly, and recognizing that people in the world give a fuck about you. People in the world want you to be absolutely 100% at your best, because when you're at your best, your work is at its best. When your work is at its best, it's the most high quality, it's the highest vibe, it's the most directly in line and in tune with source energy, and it's the most valuable, I'd argue. So that's really all that I have to say. I hope that this helped you and provided some clarity for you as you are starting to allow in more consistency. You don't have to prioritize. Everybody needs theirs, and they need it right now, immediately, to the point where you are burning yourself out, prioritizing them and their needs over your own, because that's self-sacrifice and it feels like complete shit. So love you guys so much. Hope that you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you later. Bye.